What's up, gentlemen? This is Rising Phoenix Podcast, podcast about how to rise up after your divorce. I'm your host, divorce coach Michael Rhodes. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to the show. This is episode 152. This is another solo one, and I'm gonna talk about stuff, I guess. Not really sure exactly. I have a little bit of a plan. First, I guess an update. I'm back, clearly. Thank you for sticking around, waiting on me. It's much appreciated. And I guess probably the theme of this one is going to be sort of feedback. I guess someone commented recently when I posted that I was back. They hoped that this break allowed me to recharge. It did not. um, this summer has been quite fucking hectic. It was nice to not have the pressure of putting these things out. I did record some. Clearly, I put one out last week. I recorded two others, which I'm excited about as well. You can see if you're watching this on YouTube, the studio has not changed yet. It will, I promise. I bought everything that I want to utilize to make the changes. I just haven't had the time. I'm hopeful that sometime in September I'll make the changes. I'm not sure what I'm going to do over these next few weeks because, like I said, I have two recorded. So I don't know. I'll probably just stick with this same format. I'll probably put an interview out, do a solo, put an interview, and then hopefully the new studio will be here. That doesn't. It's not like it doesn't need to be shipped in. I just gotta change some shit around here in this studio. I considered moving to another spot in my basement, but I'm gonna stay, I think, in the same spot, but I'm just gonna completely change it around. So it is coming, I promise. And so are some really good interviews. I think the last two that I've done, or the last three, I enjoyed the last one as well. I feel like for me, the best interviews are ones where it's almost like a therapy session for me, and or at least I'm trying to get something out of it because I'm dealing with those particular things. Um, like some of I mean, I think this show is really about your mental health. I really think that's the main issue. And so sometimes there are things that maybe I don't deal with, and so I don't connect with those interviews as much. But when it's a sort of, that sounds narcissistic. When it's about me, it really resonates. But I think that's normal. I think that's human nature, right? Whatever interests you. So anyway, I thought what I would do for this one, and sincerely, thank you for sticking with me and waiting. It is certainly appreciated. Every comment, every like, every message is, man, I really appreciate it. I, I I hope I'm giving you something that will allow you to survive and overcome this shit show called divorce. Um, and I think that I am, but your comments certainly help. It's validation. Validation never sucks. So I thought what I would do is a couple things. There is so Buzzsprout, which is the host of the podcast. In other words, I upload it to Buzzsprout and it goes out to Apple, Spotify, all those other Overcast, all those other apps through an RSS feed, which is some shit I don't understand. I don't care to. And it gets sort of disseminated out from Buzzsprout. YouTube is a whole separate thing. Anyway, Buzzsprout not too long ago came out with a new app. And one of the things that it does, which I think is pretty cool, is it tells me new locations. So I just want to give a shout out to, it gives me four, and this updates on the regular. So there are four locations that are quote unquote new. One person listened to episode 151, the last one, from Southwark. I don't know where the fuck that is. It's not America. I don't know where that is. But thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed 151 and you'll stick around. The next person listened to episode 150 and they were from Pleasant Hill, California. So shout out to Pleasant Hill, California. The next one is Crystal Lake, Illinois. Episode 147. You listen to that one. Again, hopefully you stick around. And last, but sure as fuck not least, because it's from the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, episode 151, the latest episode. Welcome again. I hope that you stick around. In some ways, it's sad that you need to stick around. This shit sucks, but if you need to, I hope you do. I hope that it provides some kind of solace or I don't know, hope. Maybe that's been the point and the mission all along. So another thing that Buzzsprout has done, I'm not going to do it right now, is they allow fan mail. So apparently you can text the show. I don't know the number. I don't know how it works. I do get notification. I also can't reply. I'm going to come back to this because this is the message I got was interesting, and I struggled whether or not to read it for a lot of reasons, but I think I'm going to. Another, I think I mentioned, just said a few minutes ago, Spotify also has a new app, which is fucking awesome and about time, because now I think you remember there was a Q&A feature on Spotify. Never really understood the fucking point of it. I guess it was for me to ask the question of the audience and they would answer and I would get their feedback. I don't know. I found that kind of weird. But with this new app, I can actually reply to the comments, which is nice. But now I guess I'm going to use it as it was originally intended. And I'm going to read some of these. And it's just to say thank you, I suppose. I did reply to these comments finally. Again, I couldn't before. And some of them are from quite a while ago. I'm not going to say last name, just going to say first names. So Kyle, 10 months ago, he said, "Hey man, what you're doing is absolutely awesome. I have been consuming your podcast on the regular. Don't feel discouraged by lack of followers if your listener numbers have declined a little." First of all, thanks, man. Period. And I try to be transparent in all things and all feelings and all thoughts and all everything that I'm going through. And yeah, sometimes it's like, man, I wish there was more, but I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I mean, there's some things I need to do and some things I would like to do, and there's work to be done. But I'm just a dude in his basement in Pennsylvania, and people are listening, and I've been doing it for over almost. We're coming up on 4 years. We're 3 months away from 4 years. That's pretty fucking awesome. I'm not sure. I think it's only 20% of podcasts make it a year, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, yeah, would I like more? Absolutely. And probably again, validation, ego, those types of things, if I'm being honest. But it's helping, and that's all that fucking matters. And it's evident it's helping because of messages like this. Another one, Josh, again, 10 months ago, and my apologies, probably should have read these before, but A, it wasn't condensed into an app, and B, I kind of ignored it because like I can't fucking do anything with it. But now I can reply. And Josh 10 months ago said, "Hey man, I'm one of those guys that doesn't reply. I'm guilty of it. I want you to know you make a difference, and this is my gratitude for you in this podcast. Thank you." Thanks, man. I mean, I remember this one. So this was a comment on an episode I did with Dale Valor. Shout out to Dale. Side note, if you're looking for help with your dating app, Dale and more Dale, I'm just going to sort of, I don't know, help facilitate, is going to run a class on how to set up your dating profile, what pictures, things to say, how to reply, all these kinds of things. I reached out to him and said, "Hey man, I think this would be good because I have had no success." So it was a little bit selfish, but anyway, it is $50. If you're not in the Dating for the Divorced Man, a Rising Phoenix group, get in there. I think, gosh, I can't remember when. He and I are going to record a sliver for this class next week, and then I think he's going to have the class next the Saturday, that following Saturday. So I don't know what that is, the 30th or some shit, 29th. I don't know. The last Saturday, I believe it's the last Saturday of the month. I can't be there. Just our schedules just haven't aligned, so that's why we're sort of doing a little bit of a pre-record. Anyway, I remember this episode, and I remember asking Dale, "Why do you think people don't reach out and reply?" And the truth is, I don't fucking do it either. I watch so many YouTube videos that I don't comment on. Um, so many podcasts that I listen to that I don't comment on. So I don't know what the fuck. What was I complaining about? Another one from Sean. Sean 7 months ago said he commented on the Thanksgiving Discord members meeting. He said, "Great episode, painful to hear, but uplifting at the same time." Yeah, I remember that one. David, I think was his name. It was his sort of. He was very early in the process, and we were able to sort of me and other folks, other Discord members, were able to sort of coach him up a little bit, so to speak. And so, yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I think those are, in addition to interviews and personal stuff, I also love real men, real stories, which I got to get back on those. Yeah, they will be coming, I promise. This one's a little more recent. Episode 137 was my growth. I think you hopefully remember that one. I kind of went back and read some journal entries and played some clips of my mental state in the past and sort of kind of where I'm at now. Jeff says, "Appreciate the show. It's helped since I found it. I'm right in the middle of I wish nothing bad for my ex, yet nothing good. I feel constantly trapped in my emotions and question my decision making." Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of what I think we sort of talk about on the show, at least feels like it's a lot, is getting into that thinking brain, right? Getting out of our back brain, our lizard brain, our emotional brain, whatever you want to call it. Getting out of that brain and getting into our prefrontal cortex, where decision making, logic, sound decision making happens, not life saving, fight or flight, freeze or fawn type of decision making. So I feel you, brother. I think we have all struggled with that. That's why we're fucking here. Let's be honest. This is the last one. This is I'm this is on a Tom Arnold episode. I'm gonna make another comment on that too, because someone else reached out to me about this episode. But this guy, I'm not gonna say his I think you can see this anyway. He didn't have a name. It's a nickname or whatever. It's not like a first name or whatever, first name, last name. But this particular man says, "Michael's interviewing skills are superb." Thanks, man. I do appreciate that. Like, really fucking appreciate that. Helping men through so many different guests and their viewpoints works, providing men struggling to heal from divorce hope. Works, providing men struggling to heal from divorce hope. It gives them hope. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Thanks again. I really kind of pride myself in my interviewing skills. I will say that Tom Arnold episode was not my finest hour. Largely because I was trying to navigate two guests and showing respect to her because she set it up. And trying to balance that out was a little tricky. I hope that I can do it again, but I also hope that I can do it separately and then later together. We'll see. I don't. There's no reason for us not to do it again. I don't think, unless they had a terrible experience. I think that while Tom was very open about his relationship with his latest ex and the trials and tribulations, he was very open about it. Monica was not so much. In fact, I had to edit some things out because she didn't want me to really talk. And I understand. I totally. He's a famous dude. I understand. She doesn't want to ruffle feathers. I doubt that the dude's going to listen to my fucking podcast, but I totally understand. But it made it tricky. It added another tricky element because I kind of knew that, but I did stumble around some stuff, and she didn't ask me to pull it out. I offered because I could tell she was a little uncomfortable, like afterwards in our conversations, and so I pulled it out, and that's fine. I've said this to anyone who's ever been a guest or wanted to be a guest: you have final edit. You have final say. I think I said this before. I recorded an episode with someone, and they later on messaged me and said, I don't want that to come out. And so I didn't put it out to anybody, not unreleased to Discord members or anything. It's not up to me to decide whether or not someone doesn't want their story told. And I mean, that's their right. So anyway, so that's all the comments. Let me address. That's all the comments on Spotify. Let me address. Someone messaged me about the Tom Arnold interview and said it was terrible. But he wasn't attacking me. It wasn't a bad comment. It wasn't negative towards me. It was negative towards the. I don't want to say exactly, but well, fuck it, towards Tom. Um, and I get that. It was a tough interview, and I could have done a better job. Careful with the word should. I could have for sure, but I think I handled it as best I could, obviously, right? And all I can do is learn from it. And um, I think one of the things is for sure I wouldn't want to do it again jointly next. Like if I interviewed them again, I would want to do it separately and then maybe do it jointly again once I had a better feel for both of them, and how to integrate them. And so I appreciated the feedback. I always appreciate the feedback, man. I'm gonna, I think, not wrap up right now, but I'm gonna wrap up with uh this comment that I got, and guys in the book club on Discord got this. We're privy to this message, and I'll read it here in a second. Sidebar. The website has been updated. If you look at it on a desktop, it looks pretty fucking awesome. If you look at it on your mobile phone, it looks like shit, and I am aware of that. I did it myself. It doesn't look as good on the desktop now because I've been trying to make it look good on mobile, and that fucks with the desktop view. I am not an expert on web design. I'm doing it all myself. So I'm trying to fix it. It looks okay. You can't see the reviews of the podcast mobily, and I've been messing with it, trying to make it work, and I can't figure it out. If you go on the desktop, you can see all the reviews that people have left on. I think majority of the reviews have been left on Apple Podcast. There was one on. It wasn't like a main. Although I'm seeing more and more downloads from this service, it was another podcast app. It wasn't one of the Spotify or Apple. So anyway, so I'm working on it. It's doing the best I can. Anyway, back to this. So this comment came in June 20th, and I think because I don't even know who this person is because they don't say their name. And there's no identifying anything on here. So I think I'm okay if I read this. It's from a woman. And by the way, if you are still listening, I don't know that you are. I suspect that maybe you aren't. And you hear this and you're like, I don't want you to read that, then reach out and I'll remove it from this episode. It says there are two messages a week apart. I don't know if this message will get to Rising Phoenix, but how you speak about the man's, in quotes for some reason, side is so off in my situation. My ex, after 25-year marriage and 30-year relationship, is a self-professed passive-aggressive gaslighter, and he pathologically lied to me. I believe he was also emotionally impossible, physically cheated. Yet he calls me a cunt, in quotes. I'd love to discuss things. First of all, I'm sorry. That's and I think that's why I don't try to generalize, because everyone has different experiences. There are some people listening that would say that what you described, it was their ex-wife or soon to be ex-wife to a T. I'm positive there's someone out there listening right now that can say my ex treated me that way. I'm positive of it. So that's why I try not to generalize. I do it. We all do it because it's hard not to. It's easy. It's simpler. But I try not to. And your message, this first one, is the reason why. But then she followed up a week later. I keep listening to you, trying to understand the male perspective. One, there is a reason why there is more help in quotes for women, because men are more often than not the abuser. That is true, and I've said that. I don't remember which episode, but I basically said there's a reason why, and people I see that I've been seeing this a lot lately in a divorce support for men group. People complaining about, oh, the system is screwed and false accusations and all that. Yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason for them. There's a reason that courts look side-eyed at us men, because a lot of men are fucking shitty. That's just fact. I mean, there's shitty women too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there isn't. Again, not trying to generalize, because every situation, every person is unique. But if you look at stats, men are more abusive. That is fucking factual in a physical way, which is more important to a court than a mental abuse. And you could make the argument that it should be the same, I suppose, but you're not going, nobody is going to kill you with words. They'll hurt you, they'll fucking devastate you, but they won't kill you. But someone that is physically abusive will fucking kill you. We see it all the fucking time. Go ahead and do a Google search on, and I'm not pandering to this woman. I don't know this woman, but she's making a point. My point is, I've already made this point. You just haven't listened to enough, and that's okay. The courts are changing, leaning more towards the man to an extreme. That is fucking false. I'm just sorry. That is false. I think that is changing to equality more than it's certainly not an extreme to the male. No fucking way. I think the courts look at the facts, and sometimes our interpretation of the facts don't line up with the way we think it should be. And there's some things that I totally understand and agree with and get the frustration. False accusations should be punished in some kind of way, but they're not. But I understand why the court takes them seriously. Again, look at the fucking stats. Murder suicides, look at the stats. That's all I'll say. I brought that up a couple episodes, not a couple, many episodes ago. They're sobering, and it's not fucking women pulling the trigger. But to say that it's gone to the man to an extreme, I show me some stats, because I as a person that runs a divorce support group with help, by the way, thank you, shout out to Ian, and I'm gonna fucking forget someone I don't want to. I don't think I will. Ryan and Chris and Pete, fucking love you guys. I see regularly how men are losing time with their children. Now, I don't know the nuance, and there could be very valid reasons why they're losing time with their children. But to say that it's leaning more towards men to an extreme is just fucking wrong. I feel that you are dismissing the husband's bad, in quotes, behaviors. You'd have to play me a clip where I'm doing that. You are spreading the acceptance of poor behavior from male and females. What are you talking about? I really don't know what you're talking about. And I want to say, clearly you are hurting, and I am sorry, but I don't know what you're talking about. You know, as I sit here and reading this, I'm wondering if this is a good idea, because I don't want to. I don't want to attack. I'm not trying to attack this person at all. At all. Again, she has my sympathy. She's essentially experiencing what we experience as men. So maybe this is a bad fucking idea, but here we are. I'm going to wrap it up soon, though. You admitted to having BPD, and maybe this is why I'm reading it, because maybe I feel like I need to defend myself, which is weird because no one else can see this. You admitted to having BPD. Again, not true. What I have admitted to is that I have certain traits. I do not have full-blown borderline personality disorder. It's just not true, and I've never said as much. What I have said is I have some traits. Classified as a cluster B personality disorder. Personality disorders do not change. Again, false. If you look up the facts, particularly on BPD, with therapy and intervention and work and all that kind of good shit, BPD can be changed. So again, you're just wrong. But I'm not trying to attack you. Your admission and need to get your voice out there seems to be on par with your self-labeling of BPD. That would be narcissism, I think. I don't think that BPD. There's an aspect of BPD that is like, look at me. I don't think so. I could be wrong. That's more narcissistic personality, and I sure as fuck don't have that. I'm going to guess that you haven't messaged since June 27th. And again, I don't know your name, ma'am. I'm not attacking you. I promise you I'm not. But I'm going to guess that you have listened enough to know that all those things that you said are just not true. I mean, there might be, I always hold space for maybe there's some element of truth in there. But I don't think so. I mean, I think the part about men being the abusers, yeah, 100%. That's true. There's no arguments for me. Statistically, that is true. But other than that, I'm not sure that anything you said is factual. And maybe this is another reason why I wanted to talk about this. Is because I think what you're experiencing, first of all, again, I am sorry. I'm sorry that you're hurting. I'm sorry that this is so difficult. I'm sorry you feel kind of like you're on an island. I can assure you that I know how that feels, and I can assure you that more men feel the way you are feeling right now than women do. Because I'm going to guess that you don't have anywhere to turn, and so you're turning to the podcast. That's not typically a woman's situation. They're much closer with their friends. At least my interpretation, could be wrong. Feel free to message and point out my how I'm incorrect in this fact. But women lean on their friends. They are more apt to seek support and find it through books, through therapists, through podcasts. They're just better at dealing with emotions, again, generalizing. And so not only do they reach out, but it's already part of sort of the female culture, so to speak. Or I don't know if culture is the right word, but that's what women do. And men are really bad at it. And so what you're experiencing, I would say, is on par with what men experience. They don't have anywhere to turn. And even if they do, they don't know what to say. They don't want to feel like a bitch. They don't want to feel like a burden. You're experiencing what a man is experiencing. And I am sorry. I don't want anyone to go through this divorce shit. And your husband sounds like a fucking asshole. And so I hope that as you continue to listen, or have continued to listen, that you have gotten something more out of it than what you feel is my confirmation that all men suck. Because I don't think that's the case. Am I perfect? Fuck no. Very fallible. But I don't think that what I'm doing is, sure as fuck don't think what I'm doing is furthering bad behavior in any fucking way. So obviously what you're saying is coming from a place of pain, and I get that 100,000%. So that's all I got for this one. Again, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for commenting. If you do, thank you for reaching out, for being part of this journey that I'm on. Thank you for continuing to listen and make me feel less alone in the world. I do truly appreciate it. Until next time, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Thank you so much for watching and or listening. Since my separation in July of 2019, I have done an incredible amount of work on myself. I've had many different therapists, life coaches, and went through different programs. I've taken all that I've learned and put it into my own program called Forged by Fire. If you are interested in having me help you navigate your divorce, please hit my website, risingphoenixdivorcecoach.com. I look forward to working with you.